Platform Volume 2 at Jack Rabbit Slims, October 11th, Friday, October 11th.
Friday, October 11th. Okay. All right. Platform Volume 2. I'm joined with M3LO.
What's going on?
How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. We were just chatting earlier, and you were saying you got a couple things planned for your show.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of a thing planned for my newest, latest single, Dead Precedents.
Dead Precedents, right?
Yeah, which was my sort of modern rendition of Jay-Z's Dead Precedents.
I was going to talk to you about that. What's the inspiration behind that single?
So obviously, Jay-Z being Jay-Z
right.
one of the GOATs in the game. I really like the idea of paying homage to old songs and sampling. So, for example, my first inspiration was after I heard the actual song, the piano hit me straight away, and that was it. I had to do something with it. So that sat for about a month, and all of a sudden I was listening to Standing on Ferraris by The Game.
Right.
And realised that was a modern rendition of Kick in the Door.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's how we did it, right? So, I sat down with my producer, Cortex, and he's also a rapper, as you probably know.
Yes.
And we just sat there, we found out and pulled all the original samples from the Dead President song that Jay-Z's producer had used.
Mm-hmm.
And we just remade the beat as if I was making it.
Right.
And I added that bit of an orchestra feel to it because I'd watched a video of Jay-Z performing it live, and he had the whole orchestra, and that just really...
Oh, man. He really brings his performances.
It was unbelievable, and, this was when he was, 15 years after the song had come out, and everyone knew the words still, and you know what I mean? It was just unbelievable, and I wanted to give that feeling, so...
Of course. I can't imagine, when you're performing a track like that, especially when you're Jay-Z, and you've got everybody, a whole stadium singing your song back.
And, that's what we dream about, and that's what we perform, but it all starts at, places like Jack Rabbit Slims and doing these little small gigs, and you got to appreciate it for the intimacy. I mean,
sure.
I'd obviously for about a year I did hip hop karaoke at the Bird, and that was a great time. It was great to build up my confidence and my crowd control mostly.
Yeah, right.
Because when that place was like a little motherfucker, that place went absolutely nuts.
Dope. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure I've seen you perform a few times.
Oh.
So you mentioned Jay-Z obviously must be an inspiration for you. What other artists were you listening to growing up that really inspired your sound today?
There's a whole lot. I mean, I got Wu-Tang tattooed on my back. So
okay.
I got a big piece in the center of my back. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I grew up, that was probably my first sort of inspiration, but I didn't grow up on rap itself. I got into it when I was more 9, 10 years old.
Yep.
When I was growing up, I listened to old school music like Boney M and reggae music, and Bob Marley, and my favourite artist personally, Ray Charles. So
awesome.
I love all that Chitlin circuit, all that old school music. It's my sort of thing.
So everything from old school pop to jazz to everything.
Yeah,
cool, man.
Absolutely love it, and I try to infuse it as much as I can. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just listening to Delight. And it's compared to the rest of the songs you've got out, it's a bit of a different vibe. In fact, that whole EP really carries different. Each song carries a different vibe. I found.
Yeah, exactly right. And Delight was more of I just love that sort of Kate Renata Gold Link vibe, and I'd fucking fuck with it. And if you can rap over it, it sounds so boss. And the Gold Link really hit it on the tee. And then, the inspiration, Delight was actually written over Dang by M3LO.
I was gonna say because. It's got a kind of Anderson .Paak kind of M3LO vibe, with the...
So I do, when I try to write, I found that if I'm stuck writing and I want to re-engineer a flow or, take inspiration from a song, I'll try and embody that person and write as if I'm that artist, because I started off rapping by remembering songs on the radio and doing impersonations of people's voice.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I started rapping, and...
And about what age was that?
I was remembering songs from when I was little because I was just obsessed with music from birth. But rap, sort of started when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
My dad had Enter the 36 Chambers on vinyl, and just started bumping that sort of stuff. And then obviously when I was going through that younger age, about 10, 11, 12, Notorious and all those biopics came out, and I started getting into Biggie Smalls, and I had all those phases, and I went into Park, and then I just really jumped from artist to artist, listened to album. Yeah. And then there was probably a solid 1 or 2 years where I just bumped Chance the Rapper mostly.
Really?
Yeah, man. Acid Rap was my absolute shit.
Yeah, what an insanely crazy
Unbelievable.
mixtape. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unfortunately for him, that was you know, he might not be able to top that. But
yeah.
I hope he can one day, but hey, you know what I mean? But
people say the same thing about like Nas like dropping such an amazing
Illmatic,
debut album,
yeah.
and then you can never live up to that expectation ever again.
It's really hard.
So like obviously you've got like these artists that you've been listening to from the past, like, you know, you mentioned Biggie and Wu-Tang and all that. What about currently? What are you listening to? What's going through your playlist?
So I did mention all of them, but probably of late, of the last 5 years, my main has been Kendrick. I've seen him twice. I flew over to, well, Kendrick is one of the mains, the other main is J. Cole. Kendrick I flew to Melbourne to see, and I saw him here and I met him as well.
Oh, cool, man.
And Inglewood Sir as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Perth Arena, must have been a crazy experience.
Yeah, motherfucker was like 5'3", bro.
Oh, no shit.
I was like, shit. I was honestly surprised.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, what's up, my nigga? I was like, oh, shit, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, hi.
Hi, what's up, man?
A fanboy, and I was like, shit. And then, like, Inglewood Sir's this massive Marshawn Lynch.
Really?
Oh, bro.
That's
he looks like he should be playing NFL, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, they're all both really nice. And
it's really crazy because like the context, I mean the contrast in their like music, like, Sir's music is so like, you know, calm and relaxed, and then he's like this huge guy,
rapper, and
then Kendrick's like this small dude apparently, and he's
Yeah,
crazy bars coming out. Like
the show was unbelievable, and you know, it's that's what the only reason I go to these concerts is just to see what I want to be, and you know, just like when I went to that intimate concert at HBF Arena, I think it was for J. Cole.
Yep.
That was probably the best concert I've been to.
Yep.
And everything was just zoomed in, and he came out the For Your Eyes Only tour and the jail thing. And
that was amazing. I was at that concert. Yeah.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah. With the he was in the orange jumpsuit.
Yeah, bro.
And he came
it was
out
just
and
absolutely
the
crazy.
police guard and all that. That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like at the end we got blessed with Workout, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first J. Cole song I heard. So
right.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio. I was like, if only you could spit bars. And I looked. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
This was you doing the one only radio song, you know what I mean? So
and then you have just album and mixtape of just like bars.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And I try to, you know, do mostly bars in my sort of stuff, and you know, I've sort of in the last been branching. I used to be very restricted and tunnel vision with what I listened to, and I realized it was hindering me as an artist. And when I met my beautiful partner, she introduced me to people like Dave East and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
When I learned about East, I started re-engineering that shit, and but I will say for my R&B side of things and my more singing vibe, Drake is a necessity.
As much as people love to hate on him, you cannot deny his presence, man, and you cannot deny his like impact on the culture.
But it's the gems, and you don't really, and that's the thing. Like when I say I'm a Drake fan, I'm not a Drake fan of God's Plan, Fake. No, my favorite song on his most recent album, I can't even remember what it was called. Scorpion. That's right. Was Emotionless.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just that old school gospel sound. That's what I love. Which was also the main reason I love Chance the Rapper, was because when I was going through that gospel music stage, I just love that whole vibe with the choir. If I could get a whole Whopper choir behind me and perform Presidents, I would. It's crazy. That's a really cool. You should make that happen, man. It will happen. That should happen. I'll get it there. I'll try and get it there. So I've seen like Dead Presidents was produced by Cortex. You've had Cortex feature on a song before as well. Yeah, Biracials. Yeah. What's your relationship like with him? So it's a glowing relationship. He's a great rapper and a great producer. He's one of the veterans, and to me, probably one of the best in Perth. I don't know anybody else who knows what they're doing as well as he does, and you know, there could be a better studio and a better producer, whatever. Yeah. I just don't think that anyone can do what he does with my music. Yeah. You know what I mean? He masters it right. He knows my voice. The EQ's right. Everything's right. It's the chemistry that matters there, man. That's it, man. Yeah. And my partner introduced me to him because she's an artist herself, and she's been recording with him for a few years before that. Oh, cool. So yeah. She already had that established relationship, and I was blessed to be brought into that, which was really great. So yeah, nice, man. Yeah. And what about other Perth artists? Are you digging anyone else at this moment? Yeah, man. Everybody. I'm just trying to sort of stay, and you know, I've reached out to a lot of artists, and a lot of them don't really hit me back, so I've gotten to the point, and that's been ongoing for like 4 or 5 years, so you know, and that's the thing. I'm not, you know, there's no need to hate on them. Big ups to everyone doing it great. All that means is they're putting more eyes here and giving everyone else a chance, so I really appreciate it. And there's some great music coming out of this scene, man. Molly Jose, you know, Saudi, Young Buddha, all of those boys, High Class, you know, she's for for the culture, and everybody loves her, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, everywhere I've
That's
seen
great.
High Class, everywhere she walks around, everyone's like,
That's
hey,
it.
what's up?
That's it. And,
a
you know,
great
it's
vibe.
great to see that music is so live and is becoming more live and well, and soon enough, like, you know, no one's going to give a shit about the East anymore, and it's all going to be about here.
Yeah. I feel like us being secluded in such like a small part of the world, away even from the rest of Australia,
Exactly.
like it gives us an opportunity to really to like be different and like shine in our
And
own
that's
way.
it.
Because the East Coast, like if you're from Sydney and Melbourne, you kind of get put into one, like kind of bubble.
like, and that's like when you think Australia, you think, oh, Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think that's what you think is that you think that the main cities is that the only place you're going to get music.
Exactly. And it was like this in the States for such a long time, where it was just LA and New York were running the scene, and then now like you have Atlanta, and then Atlanta's scene pretty much dictated the rest of the sound that came through hip hop.
Yeah, exactly right. And shit, bro, one of my biggest ever influences since the age of 6, Out fucking Cast.
Of course.
Bro, Andre
Of course.
3000 is one of the best to do it.
I really feel like his name should come up more in like top 5 conversations.
Yeah, and look, me and my partner, bro, absolutely dig him and bum his shit all the time because he brings to the table different things that mostly a lot of the time only rappers can really appreciate it, and people who are really musically involved can appreciate it, because the little pockets that he hits and these little things that really matter as someone who writes music is absolutely crazy, and it's mind-blowing. So I know another great artist that I'd try to model my singing after when I do that sort of stuff, Frank Ocean.
Oh, of course.
Because he's just a
man.
You know,
he's
Frank fucking Ocean.
Exactly, right? Like he's put himself up there to such a level now where it's
and
like,
he's just like, he posts an Instagram post saying, I'm not making music, and it's promoting his next album somehow, you know what I mean? Because he's built such a...
like a cult following.
Exactly
almost.
right, bro. And it's just great. And when I heard, you know, and funnily enough, I have no idea how, because I had a tendency to listen to albums, and when I got bored, I just wouldn't listen to the rest.
Right.
And when I met my partner, she showed me Pink Matter. And I hadn't heard that. And when I heard that, I bawled my eyes out. I cried. So, and then I was like, man.
Fucking song,
and then I got to the end and he started rapping. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't read the title that he featured. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, he's on here as well. And then since then I was like, wow, so that's how you rap over that sort of music, and just trying to learn to rap over all these sorts of beats, because hip hop is becoming something completely and utterly different. You got grime, you got R&B, hip hop, you got so many different fusions.
You got your drill, your trap, like it's just like multi-genre of just
exactly right.
Nowadays.
No one did that Sunday sesh type music, some deep house rap, until Goldlink did it with K-Tronada. You know, but that was an Australian sound.
Yeah.
That deep house K-Tronada sound was Australian from here. You know what I mean? And I know that sort of music will resonate here because that's our sound. And when I say I'm an Australian rapper, that's what I mean, an Australian rapper. I'm not a grime rapper because that's just not my...
That's just not who you are.
No.
Right.
I can't rap with that accent. I've done it and I just can't.
Yep.
It doesn't sound right to me, but it doesn't sound right to rap in a full American accent either, because I'm not American. So I found a way to just find that nice middle line.
Yeah, I mean, and
if you pronounce certain words in Australian, just to I'm still Australian.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think it's all about like being authentic to yourself.
Exactly,
when you're doing that kind of stuff as well.
And you know what? And that's what some people don't understand. They might say, "Oh, he's trying to sound American." No, I'm being authentic to myself. I don't want to sound like I overemphasize every single word, mate.
If you don't talk like that normally as well, like
exactly
it doesn't work. Like So look, we're looking forward to performing.
Yeah, so man, it's gonna be a great show.
October 11th, Jackrabbit Slims.
Yeah.
Anything special you got planned for us? Anything you can tell us about what you're gonna bring to the show?
Well, I'm just gonna sort of bring my melodrama album, and then
Yep.
I'll probably bring a couple of SoundCloud classics.
All right.
Yeah. So, I will say there's as much as there's only a couple of lit songs, I tend to make the chill songs lit. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So
So it's about the performance.
Yeah, and
really.
mine's an intimate. Mine's the everybody get cool, and that's what it is. And you listen to the music, you listen to the words, and it speaks into your soul. That's what it is. I make woke music. That's what it's for. You know what I mean? Good music for good people. I have it on. That's all I'm gonna have on my Spotify. Spotify bio is good music for good people.
Fuck with that, hell heavy man. Cool. Well, appreciate you coming in, man.
Thank you very much for having
performance.
Me.
Yeah, and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much, man.
Cool.
Cheers.
All right.
Awesome. Shit, bro. Awesome.